Good evening and welcome to another edition of Now Alert, serious and dangerously unbiased news that you can count on. I'm Nick Green. Tonight's story. The biggest cultural phenomenon that has hit the nation this year might be harder to guess than you think. Is it a new iPhone? A PS5? No. This holiday season, millions of Americans had one S word on their Christmas list, and it is not Santa.
Stanley.
The 100-year-old company started making thermoses back in 1913 for America's working class, but in the past few months, you may have noticed Stanley transforming into a pretty nasty beast. What was once merely a vessel for drinking became a status symbol for your most annoying coworkers, friends, and cousins. And whether it's the trendy colors, the trademark straw, or that sleek, ripe matte finish that everybody can't stop talking about, people everywhere are clamoring for what seems to be the final boss in water bottle culture. Now, we've had popular Christmas gifts in the past. You remember Tickle Me Elmo, the Tamagotchi, or even a fur-real go-go My Walking Pup. But I'm not sure if any of those fads beat off this hunk of metal. In 2019, Stanley did $73 million in annual sales, but that has skyrocketed to an unprecedented $750 million this past year. But what makes this piece of junk so special to so many Americans? Well, Watson, I'm gonna put on my detective cap and grab my detective's notebook and my pen, and we can rip this case wide open, just like Sherlock and Watson, here, today, on Now Alert. Now. First, let's go back in time to the shift in the Stanley paradigm. Stanley has been creating products since 1913, but it was 2023 that finally made them a true landmark household product in American culture. I'm gonna send it to Jack Hensley with the on-site report. Back in November, Danielle Lettering found herself in the hot seat when her Kia Sorento burned to a crisp in a nasty car fire. What she didn't expect? To find her Stanley Cup waiting for her in the cup holder with the ice chilling inside.
It was in a fire yesterday. It still has ice in it.
Danielle could have never expected over 80 million people to see her TikTok, but her fantasy turned into a miracle when the president of Stanley, Terrence Riley, reached out to Danielle to do something that they've never done before.
I've seen a lot of comments that we should send you some Stanleys. Well, we're gonna send you some Stanleys. But there's one more thing. We've never done this before, but we'd love to replace your vehicle. Yeah.
And TikTok's millions of users did not hesitate, rushing to praise Stanley and become part of the club themselves. Many critics say that the famous cup is really nothing special compared to its clones, but it is the marketing, the aesthetics, that has made it rise above the rest.
Pouring out onto my floor. I'm doing this for you guys. You turn this sideways a little bit. This is full. I will prove it to you.
But who's this guy? This is Terrence Riley. He has been the global president of Stanley for almost 3 years now, and he might be the person to blame for Stanley's unprecedented reign over American shoppers everywhere. In 2013, he joined Crocs and later became the chief marketing officer for the company, changing the reputation of Crocs from a nerdy shoe for virgin losers to footwear that was shown on London Fashion Week and worn by the popular kids of the world like Post Malone and Bad Bunny. In the same vein, Terrence has massively changed the audience and strategy for Stanley, making their quenchers the cup of choice for your favorite celebrity or influencer. Not only that, but the colors and collaborations that Stanley created for so many of their bottles have caused a frenzy among Stanley's biggest fans. Or should I say stans? We're on the other line with Blake Madison, who wrote into the show about his strong feelings on the Stanley Cup. Blake, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you there?
Great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Blake Madison, Wisconsin.
So Blake, it says in my notes that you are not a huge fan of Stanley. Why is that?
If I have to hear the name Stanley one more time, I'm going to lose my goddamn mind.
Okay, is that
My wife has never said another man's name in front of me so many times.
Okay, is there anything about this public reaction that has made your life different in any way?
The people in the stores, I was looking at news with the I can't, Anderson?
Yeah, Anderson Cooper.
Cooper.
Okay.
Criminal rampant behavior because of a bottle. What's going on?
Well, Blake, if you had to give advice to Americans out there thinking about whether or not they want to buy the Stanley, what would you tell them?
So listen, I'm sick of people freaking out about which color cup they want. I've used the same water bottle for 20 years, and I'm not planning to change anytime soon.
All right. Thank you. And that's Blake Madison. Thank you for tuning in. And it's not just the experts saying this, but also the parents of children are noticing the effects that this trend has had on the youth of our country. I'm here today inside of La Cañada High School, where the lives of teenagers may be changing in a big way. Dana Motika, a worried mother, posted on TikTok about her concerns around the severity of this trend.
She's just upset. The girls, all the other girls in her grade, I'm not saying all, maybe she said 9, 10 of them, all got Stanleys for Christmas. And they made sure to let her know that this is not a real Stanley, that this is fake and it's not as cool. But we have got to teach our kids to not make other kids feel inferior for not having the things that they have.
But how will this shift realistically affect the children in our schools? Well, a lot of teenagers are starting to speak up, specifically about their experience with this potentially dangerous new trend. Cameron Daster is a sophomore here at La Cañada High School and has plenty to say about how it has affected his life at school.
It's a war zone.
But that's not exactly where the criticisms end when it comes to Stanley. A lot of people are saying that the cheaper alternatives to the name brand cup are much better options. The battle to figure out which oversized cup is king has torn this country apart more than any other disaster that we have tastefully covered here on Now Alert. Adults fighting over water bottles like animals at Target, TikTokers collecting the different cups like they are Thanos stones. But this show isn't just about covering the news. It's about telling you what's right from wrong. What should you think? Is the Stanley Cup as powerful as everyone is saying it is? Or do the copycats and competition stack up to the hype that this quencher has created? Well, today we've got a special surprise for you because our on-site correspondent, Glenn Bigsby, has prepared an unbiased, precise, and trustworthy test to give you the answers. We've got a big spread of everybody's favorites today, but I am here to give the test of whether or not these cups are all that they're cracked up to be. We got a pretty big nasty dent here along with some paint chippage, I think. So the next cup we're going for is the Zenbo cup. It's got a little bit of like a rubber, like a fun little straw here. Does it have a clear chance of becoming the best possible cup? Let's find out. We've got a pretty nice solid hit by the bat right here. Oh, wow. You might get a little more water leakage now onto the table because of that. Next up, we've got the Hydro Peak here. It is a pretty solid cup. It honestly looks like it has pretty good suction there.
Sorry, man. I didn't mean to burp like that.
A little bit of a dent there right by the handle. It could be worse. Not a lot of ways to drink it anymore. And what the Hydro Flask did right there is it held a lot of that shape. And although we do have some leakage from the straw, it doesn't actually come out of here, which is one of my big issues with a lot of those cups. Woo! We have a shatter on the lid right here. Never a good look. And all the water and ice fell out of the cup. But I really want to see if the Stanley Cup holds up against the other name brands, and we're going to find that out right now. Although the cup itself obviously is still in good condition, the water fell all over the ground. The Simply Modern and the Hydro Peak were the only two ones that actually took dents to the metal. So get off the table. We're gonna go with the claw this time. The metal did a pretty good job of holding it together.
Can I take a whack at it real quick?
Yeah, man.
Oh! Yeah.
Let's see if you actually got a puncture on that. It was a nasty hit, but it didn't actually break through any of it.
Puncture negative. Whoa!
Now, what I will say about the metric chimp here, it really is holding up structurally a lot better than I would expect. Oh. It's gonna be between the Stanley and the Hydro Flask. Hey, buddy.
Whoa.
Give me everything you got. Give me your money or I'm gonna stab you.
Look, dude, just take it. Just take it.
All right, man, back up so I don't do anything stupid.
Just take it, man. Just take it, man. Take it. Oh! Hey, man, hey! No! Oh, hate that noise.
The knife didn't do anything to it. The question is going to be whether or not after this video will I continue to use the Stanley Cup as my personal cup of choice, or will that title be going straight to the Hydro Flask, which continues to be full. Wait. What are you doing? Buddy, get behind the camera.
No, man.
Get behind the camera, man.
No, man. Not anymore.
Get behind the camera. Thank you, Glenn. We'll be right back with why this cup might not be your best choice for the new year. Nick Green, now alert. My name is Nick Green, and I am the newest Fortnite player to the competitive scene. I've been playing every day from dawn to dusk so I can get every skin in the game. And I'm not stopping until I've got them all. I've got John Cena, Goku, Princess Leia, Peter Griffin, Eminem, The Weeknd, Brie Larson, Eleven, Tom Holland, Xenomorph, Bulma, Mr. Meeseeks, Mr. Beast, Michelangelo, Mr. Beast with a hat on. I have so many skins that they want to put me in the game. That's right, Nick Green is getting his own Fortnite skin. I've been programming myself into Fortnite because they won't really let me in on their own, but if you use creator code NickIsNotGreen in the Fortnite shop, your purchases will directly benefit me. I bet you're wondering if the code will give you cool prizes? No, they won't. I need to be in the game. I am desperate to be in the game. So if you want to support your favorite Fortnite creator, use creator code NickIsNotGreen. Together, we will get that victory royale.
Hey, 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 hey.
After decades of waffling on which water bottle ruled the store shelves, what makes Stanley so unprecedented? Well, as usual on this network, the answer is the warmth of a woman. After 2 years of marketing a new cup towards their masculine audience, Stanley discontinued it in 2019 because of low sales. Shortly after, 3 women who founded a popular shopping blog called The Buy Guide fought to revive the life of the Stanley Quencher. So in 2020, the cup came back. The Stanley team created a new website, they enhanced the customer service, and they overhauled the way they marketed the cup. They came back with new color schemes that appealed to the female market and listened to people who were invested in this product from the beginning. And the rest is history. Stanley Cups were void of any criticism, and no one ever had any issues with them, and we all lived happily ever hydrated. Wrong. That's a pipe dream. In 2024, there is nothing but discourse on how these cups could be harmful. Many Americans are upset at the over-consumerism that takes place when a viral product is mass-produced this quickly. Anyone remember the Snuggie? Of course, you have hordes of angry men on TikTok just bashing the Stanley Cup because of its hard pivot to a more feminine brand, but among those little trolls, there seems to be legitimate concerns around the explosion of popularity we are seeing. Countless videos from TikTok show you how this trend has turned from a functional accessory for hydration to the next big collector's item. Wow. I used to have dozens of Webkins grazing in the fields of my bedroom closet. 15 years later, my generation has their cabinets lined wall to wall with different metal cups. Is that a facepalm? Is it a facepalm that we went from buying this little guy, this little animal? Sorry, it's on this side of the screen. This little animal to this hunk of crap? How am I supposed to play with that? Is there a code on the bottom of the cup so I can play with my little Stanley Cup on the computer and give it a little name? Complete bullshit. Complete bullshit. I'm on the line with Marge Johnston, a water fanatic who wrote into the show about how much she loves the Stanley Cup. Marge, how are you?
Hi, my name's Marge Johnston.
Yeah, we got that, Marge. Why don't you tell us about how the Stanley Cup has changed your life?
Getting the Stanley Cup has been amazing for my social life, confidence, health, and beauty.
So what is it that gave Stanley such a big shift in a target demographic, moving primarily towards women?
Women really care about relationships, and the Stanley Cup has totally revolutionized the way I relate to people. And I've achieved things I never thought I could, all because of the Stanley Cup, and been able to make lifelong friends while waiting in line at Target for the Stanley Cup.
Well, that's great, Marge. Thank you so much.
I want to tell you about a very special product that can change your life.
Well, yeah, what's that?
It's the Stanley Cup.
Okay, I think that's good. Thank you, Marge, for coming on the program. A lot of videos are now coming out about former Stanley fans who push for people to reuse Stanley's older cups by buying them at thrift stores or maybe on some resale website. This guy even shows off his Stanley bottles that he has been using for over 20 years. A lot of people think that's incredible that they last that long, but here at Now Alert, not so much. This guy uses the same exact cup for 20 years and everyone praises him. But when I do the same thing with my socks for 10 years and wear one pair of socks for 10 years, then all of a sudden everyone's like, you need to at least wash them. You're getting rashes on your feet. You're getting diseases. You're becoming contagious, and we're all getting feet warts from your foot because of your socks, because you got athlete's feet. Now, I think most of us are jaded to waste being created year-round because of how disposable products have become for the average American. Every year for Christmas, more and more trash is created, and most of it will go right back in the trash bin by the time Christmas comes around again. We have seen the way that over-consumerism in the fashion industry has led to devastating effects on climate change, but with a product that has such a long shelf life like the Stanley, I don't think people are going to be picking up pre-owned water bottles at their local thrift stores. Stanley will just continue to produce them in a factory as countless people scrounge up whatever color or collaboration Stanley has next. The cups may live long, but that also means that they will likely outlive this trend. Not only are these cups being made, but the accessories for Stanley have become just as popular. Straps, pouches, charms, nameplates, snack rings, hats. Unfortunately, this isn't a rare occurrence in the world of internet consumption. Waste is inevitable. Death is coming for all of us. But on the contrary, trends in this era of America culture aren't always destructive. Look at Book Talk, the popular reading community on TikTok, where sales on adult fiction novels have increased by 8.5% between 2021 and 2022, mostly due to TikTok book influencers. Now, could this be a sign that there will be a major shift in the agenda to make the youth of America drink more water? Or will they continue to reach for degenerate, fake crap like apple juice and sippy cups? We don't even know what's in there. They won't put a label on it or anything. Despite my unrealistic hopes for a craze that does not pull us further into hell, I think that there isn't much good coming out of rampant production for water bottles. There's long lists of short-lived trends on TikTok like Barbiecore or Blueberry Milk Nails, two names that I would expect to see on a poster for a music festival in someone's basement. That's funny. These fads cause spikes of consumption, quickly resulting in trash bags of waste. Pink, sparkly waste. So I don't know. Time will tell how well the Stanley regime will stand. Maybe in a year we'll see its popularity continue to bloom. But when everyone buys themselves and everyone they know these cups, what reason do any of us have to go out and buy the cups anymore? They're not shoes. You aren't going to go on a walk and cake your Stanley Cup in a mud pie from the local dog, forcing you to get a new one. What happens when the world burns and all that is left is cups? In this twisted society, that might be our reality. Nick Green, Now Alert. We'll be right back with some more. In a turn of unexpected events, Now Alert has fallen under scrutiny after being accused of hypocrisy during their latest coverage of the Stanley Cup. Many fans came to social media to air their frustration after one of our correspondents, Glenn Bigsby, showed himself on camera beating metal water bottles with a baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire. Later in the segment, Glenn was seen almost stabbing one of the crew on staff here at Now Alert. This controversy rose to the surface after another correspondent, Nick Green, that's me, spent several minutes explaining how the mass production of water bottles is destroying our planet. Many viewers of our program became concerned with possible hypocrisy.
Get ready with me to cancel Now Alert.
They're canceled. And I mean that, like, literally. They're off the air.
Today, we're talking about the controversy surrounding Now Alert, and how a semi-popular news show is taking heat for their recent coverage regarding the Stanley Cup trend.
They said that Stanley Cups are ruining the environment, and then literally 2 seconds later, they've got some absolute idiot in pajamas destroying all of these perfectly good cups.
I used to watch Now Alert every single morning as a kid. You know how like most kids, they watch cartoons and whatnot? No, I was a Now Alert kid. Do you even know what that's like, going to school and getting bullied for that?
This is one of the most brain-dead news shows to ever hit the internet.
Every anchor that works there is a man, and they all look exactly the same. It's disgusting.
They should just like change the name altogether to like Later Alert. Because I'm out, dude. I'm not watching it like anymore.
I mean, I wouldn't even compare them to freaking Drama Alert.
I just thought of this like new one. Okay, like what if they called it like Never Alert? I mean,
Now Alert used to tastefully cover tragedies every week when Preston Jups was on the show, but now it's just straight bozos.
And all these other correspondents who just don't even know what they're doing. They just don't even know why they're there, like what their job is. Like, you're on the news. Report the news. Talk about the news.
Currently, the show has not responded on their current position. Technically, yeah, this is the show, and I'm responding about it, so it's kind of like a response. But I'm talking about like my bosses, like the guys who hire us. They're probably going to say something about it soon.
Yeah, we got
Actually, I'm getting told right now on air that Glenn Bigsby is on the other line, prepared to give his statement on the situation. Glenn, can you hear me? Yes, Nick, I hear you loud and clear, and I am so excited because today I get to reveal to the Now Alert family that you have all just participated in our first social experiment. Yes, I got you guys. I put up this experiment. It was a test to see how people would react if I beat the crap out of a bunch of cups, and I wanted to see if you guys would rightfully get mad, and you did, and I like that about you guys. So shout out to the Now Alert family, shout out to me. I cannot wait to come back next week with some more tests, some more mind games. I'll send it right back over to you, Nick. Thanks, Glenn. We'll be back to conclude our coverage of the Stanley Cup craze. Nick Green, Now Alert.
Queen, quack, quack, quack. JJ Jack in the box, jip, jip, jip. QQ Queen, quack, quack, quack. JJ Jack in the box, jip, jip, jip. QQ Queen, quack, quack, quack. JJ Jack in the box, jip, jip.
Riots, pollution, bullying, little hats you can use to accessorize your cup. All of this begs the question, is it worth it? Not only that, but is this fad here to stay? Or is it time to toss it in the trash with the rest of your dented, scratched, and leaking cups? Well, the case for Stanley to retain their continued success is strong. I mean, multiplying your revenue by 10 times is unheard of, especially in the water bottle industry. No one thought this was possible, so it might as well continue. Along with the fact that Stanley has created a culture of collecting and assorting different accessories for your bottle. People who already own these cups continue to buy new colors and give them as gifts. The Stanley brand has remained strong since Terrence Riley joined the team, and it's difficult to see them running out of collaborations that will maximize audience potential for the foreseeable future. Even the use of Stanley's brand throughout coverage just like this indicates that they don't even need marketing to tell everyone about these cups. I am practically giving Stanley thousands of dollars in free advertising regardless of my critiques of the company. Now, on the other hand, the case for Stanley's fall out of relevancy seems inevitable. Many people have listed flaws that might indicate a decline over the next few months for Stanley, and recently many people have complained about the cups leaking when turned over. Even our correspondent, Glenn Bigsby, reported from Now Alert that his biggest problem with the cup was how it leaked when it was turned over. Yes, thank you for bringing that up. I actually did have a few issues with the cup. When it would tip over fully, it would like leak out. How did you do that? Have you been on the other line since we talked? Yeah, I mean, it was just a few minutes ago. I was waiting for my Uber and I had nothing else to do. All right, well, we're trying to wrap up the show. If you could just sit tight and be quiet for a few minutes. Thank you. Along with the complaints of leaking, many have also... Yep, sounds good to me. Glenn, can you please stop interrupting me? Please. Yeah, no, sorry, there must have been some delay with the mics. I wasn't trying to step on your toes or anything. I was just saying, no problem, no problemo. Many people have also shared concern that Stanley's lifespan might not be as long as we think. More than ever before, the lifespan of trends is getting shorter, and the effect that Stanley has on the conversation around climate change and overconsumption of goods might start to hurt the company. The demographic of Stanley Cups is what made the company thrive in more niche communities of people, but with the cup becoming more popular, will the trend remain trendy for much longer? Or will it eventually burn in the car fire with the rest of our products? Nick Green, Now Alert. Thank you for watching. I didn't even realize the show is ending so soon. Would you want to actually Uber pool home together? Stop talking on air. We could split the fare, the cost. I was just trying to help us with the Uber pool. Hey guys, I'm still here. Oh, hey. Hey. Okay, I think that was good.